of y'all Miami Heat fans are absolutely disgusting. Okay, the fact that you guys continue to diminish Erik Spoelstra, first of all, for him to be named Team USA coach, that is huge. I don't care what anyone says. Not every coach can get that. Not every franchise can get that. How come y'all don't have that same smoke for Steve Kerr? Y'all love to diminish Erik Spoelstra because he had the big three Miami Heat. But when Steve Kerr took over from the Warriors after Mark Jackson built that team from the ground up and he was gifted, okay, the Warriors. He was gifted Kevin Durant and Clay and Curry and Draymond all in their prime. How come y'all don't diminish him? This man had a super team given to him. Mark Jackson built the team up from the ground up. And there's a bunch of coaches that cannot measure up to Erik Spoelstra. He's the definition of doing more with less. Now, is Erik Spoelstra perfect? No. I think we've had a terrible offense for years. And he's done absolutely nothing about it. Now, does some of it come down to talent? Yes. Now, the Miami Heat, remember, they are a brain trust. They all work together on decisions. And I honestly think that's a good thing and a bad thing. Because sometimes you need one mind and one voice running it. When you have multiple people involved and then sometimes the coach doesn't really have the final say. From what all the big Miami Heat's heads say, Nick Arison, he makes the final decision. So then now, that kind of has Pat and Spo, their hands are tied behind their back. Now, obviously, Spo can dictate the players that, he wants to fit his system and things like that. But like I said, that does not mean that Erik Spoelstra is a bad coach. All of the legends in the NBA off of Team USA already certified him and stamped him as a good coach. And not because of X's and O's. This is what y'all have to understand. I would rather him be known as a good coach for him being a good human being outside of X and O's. Because when you can actually get to people in terms of pushing them to be better, which everyone says, Erik Spoelstra can take a YMCA guy and get everything out of him and translate that to the basketball court. Look what he did to Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, and the list goes on. And the list goes on. Now, like I said, when it comes to offense, he's absolutely atrocious and something needs to be done. And like I said, there's no excuse. I'm still holding Spo accountable all season for the rotations and any mistakes made. I'm holding him accountable 110%, and I'm going to fry him, cook him, if I don't see the right rotations and if I don't see the right people out on the court at the right time. All I'm saying is, y'all need to put some respect on Erik Spoelstra. That's all I'm saying. This man made it from the video room, to Team USA. That's all I can say. Put some respect on his name. Because at the end of the day, all these other fraudulent coaches that have 2, 3, 4, 5 All-Stars, they can't get it done.
When you raise your hand to volunteer, to be a part of USA basketball, you have to understand the history of it. You have to understand the legacy and how our teams have won. The standard and the expectations are still the same, as to come back with a gold. And there's a culture of those expectations when you sign up for USAB. There's a culture of a competitive spirit that you want this, that you don't shy away from the expectations. There's also a culture of sacrifice, that your role will probably be different than the role that you had with an NBA team. But the great players and teams of USAB from before have all done that, and that's led to success. That culture is something that we've all seen and watched so many times over the years, and that's why I feel such a great sense of pride, but also responsibility to carry on that torch to make sure that this culture and the standards are met.
Russell Westbrook currently has zero interest in playing overseas, as his main focus is to play in the NBA. There has been zero discussion to date about him weighing interest to playing abroad this season, league sources say. He'd naturally generate a slew of overseas offers if he was to be open to them, but I'm told that securing his next NBA opportunity has been the focus for Westbrook's camp. Russell Westbrook with a slew of other players should have been on the Miami Heat. I know a lot of people are, trying to create all these rumors saying that the Miami Heat should have picked him up. I agree, because at the end of the day, you already know that Russell Westbrook, he's going to bring 110%. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But I honestly think he would be great in a Miami Heat system only because he brings 110% energy. Okay, you know that he's a great playmaker. Obviously, the shooting can be a little bit shaky, but in terms of a great veteran point guard, he can fit anyone's team. Y'all can miss me with that. He's a Hall of Famer. Okay, y'all forget how much, this man was carrying the Wizards and the Rockets and the OKC Thunder by himself, putting up great numbers. And obviously, he's not going to be bringing these crazy triple doubles, to the Miami Heat or any other team. But to say that he doesn't deserve a job in the NBA is absolutely blasphemous. It's blasphemous. You guys can miss me with that. Listen, Russell Westbrook now is better than a bunch of players right now that are in the league. I'm sorry. Maybe he might not fit the Miami Heat. All I'm saying is that he should have been on the Miami Heat at some point in time. There's a lot of other players like that. Bro, we said the same thing about Kevin Love. Kevin Love should have been on the Miami Heat. We should not be getting these guys way past their prime, way out of their window. Listen, Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer, and it's an absolute disgrace that the NBA continues to push out veterans like him, Boogie Cousins, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Beasley, and the list goes on. Davion Mitchell is going to be huge for this Miami Heat team. So Eric Spoelstra on having Davion Mitchell. You definitely feel his presence defensively. His point of attack defense is elite. He's really been aggressive. He makes a lot of great plays when he's getting into the paint. All of that fits what we're trying to do. At the end of the day, Davion Mitchell is going to be huge. I already told you guys this. The Miami Heat have lacked a point of attack defender. I like Drew Smith. The reason why Drew Smith plays so much, his point of attack defense is elite. But then also, too, he reminds me of kind of like Mario Chalmers. Not in terms of skill set, but he's a point guard that he's not going to make a mistake. Drew Smith can be out there with the starters, play great defense, hit a three every now and then, make a play, and that is exactly what Eric Spoelstra wants. He doesn't want really too much, of Drew to be creating and doing all this stuff, but he knows that he can trust Drew defensively, and he knows that he can trust Drew not to make a mistake, and that's the biggest thing. But Davion Mitchell, especially, bro, did you guys see this man's offense close to the end of last season? I think it was elite. Obviously, he's not going to shoot 40% from three the whole season, but Davion Mitchell is a hidden gem. And I keep trying to tell y'all can say whatever y'all want about this Miami Heat. I know we pretty much have lost every single preseason game. I think we have one more left, but y'all have to have faith in this Miami Heat team. We are a better, well-rounded basketball team than ever before. Andrew Wiggins, Powell, Bam, Tyler, Khalil Ware, Davion Mitchell, Nico. I know it's not glamorous. I know it's not, oh my God, and wow, when we have this, 30-point all-star scorer. I know we don't. But when you look at the Miami Heat, this is a Miami Heat team. I know we don't have a big three team. Every team can't have a 30-point per game score. Every team can't have a LeBron and a Luka and a Giannis and all this stuff. Every team can't do that. But I would rather have the team that we have right now, a well-rounded roster, guys that are going to get it out of the mud, guys that are going to give 110%. Look at the Clippers. They had Kawhi and Paul George and James Harden, and they can't get it done. The Philadelphia 76ers, Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, they can't get it done. Look at Cleveland. They are first in the East every year. They can't get it done. All right, so I am going to definitely lean into this Miami Heat team. We have a better, talented team than ever before. I know it's not necessarily translating into preseason, but we have to give this Miami Heat team some time. Okay, let them get their reps in, and I honestly think we're going to be a lot better than what people think.
Well, you definitely feel his presence defensively. His point of attack defense is elite, and he's, what he really provided for us last year was that attacking, paint touching nature. He's really aggressive, and he makes a lot of good plays when he gets into the paint. All of that fits with what we're trying to do.
Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. We are pushing to 10,000 subscribers. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys for all the support.